Beautiful. Ooh. If we ain't planting food plots in this kind of weather, then we better be fishing. Better fish there. If we ain't seeding in the rain, then the best time to fish is in the rain. Sorry, just had about 30 wood ducks fly out of my pond. There's a lot to unpack in this video, so you need to stick with me for a minute here. We're going to talk about, of course, why the majority of people probably shouldn't lime their food plots. We'll talk about that. This is coming up on the end of August. It's August 23rd. End of August, beginning of September is the perfect time to be planting your food plots in the southeast. That's what I want to talk about. We're going to talk about southeastern food plots, but every time I put up a video, people have questions about all the different gear that I have. So I'm going to do, this is going to get random. I spent over an hour this morning building a web page, trying to think of all the products that we have tested out here, and I have put links to them, my favorite and my choices. Now, I also put up a little bio so you understand my background in the hunting industry, because for decades I've been doing this deer thing, and it's a little bit interesting if you want to read it. So you can go over to the page in the description below. And on that page, I will list everything from my game feeders that we have switched to because we don't like the old ones we had, the game cameras we have switched to because the old ones that we were using kept failing on us. I buy everything. I don't take any sponsored videos, and I don't take free product when it comes to all this hunting stuff. So I bring it in, I buy it, I test it. I also have a brand new crossbow. For the past 10 years, I haven't shot a gun at a deer. I've been crossbow hunting for almost 10 years, the past 10 years. Now that we have this property, I am gun hunting, but I love to crossbow hunt. And I've been using a fairly cheap crossbow and having great success with it. Shoots over 300 feet per second. I'll link to it. But this year, for one of my retirement presents, I decided to buy one of the most expensive crossbows on the market. And it's a Raven, and I'm going to test it for you guys. Supposedly this thing shoots accurately over 100 yards, which I would never shoot at a deer. I just don't think that's kind of ethical. But yeah, I'll be doing tests on that. My new rifle scope I just put on. I just sighted in my new rifle scope. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a Leupold fan down to the core. I love Leupold. But I just got a new German Precision Optics scope with a little tiny illuminated red dot in the middle. And it is a 4-16 50 millimeter. It's a fantastic scope. It's expensive, but I've always said, the old Marine in me has always said, buy a $100 gun and put a $1,000 scope on it. You'll shoot better than anybody else. Scopes are really, really important. So anyways, today it's drizzling. We're going to talk about lime. I really want to stress the fact that the majority of people probably shouldn't lime because it's a waste of time because of how much you have to put down. I'll talk about what we're doing up here, some experimenting, really cool food plots that we've got. I'm really happy with the way they've come out. It's drizzly out here. Everything is solid green. This has been the perfect week to do planting. It's cooler. We got rain coming in almost every day. There's a thunderstorm or some type of rain. I'm going to show you that you don't have to actually get seed into the ground. Just ground contact is fine on these food plots. I'll show you what seeds to use. There goes my blue heron. He's here every day. A whole bunch of different stuff. So stick with me on this. Maybe you'll find something interesting. Maybe you'll learn something. And first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take a break for a second. I'm going to throw a fishing lure. Then I got to go up and take care of the new baby chicks. We got 17 new baby chicks to go with our 30 other birds. So I got to go feed them. And then we'll get to this. Okay, so right away, let's talk about the lime situation. I have 3 fields up here. They're not that huge. and I had to put down lime. Why? Because I did a soil test. Don't put down lime unless you've done a soil test. If your pH isn't off and you don't know, don't put down lime. How much lime did I have to put down on my 3 fields to try and raise my pH half a point, maybe, or 3/4 of a point? I believe it's 14,000 pounds. So a huge truck came in with lime and ran these fields, and I think I have some video of them doing it. Actually going across these fields, putting down 14,000 pounds of lime on these fields, which are not that large. It's not like I have 100 acres of fields. It's just a few acres of fields. Here's why you don't want to waste your time and money on lime. I recently watched a video, and there was a guy who I actually respect on there, but he knows deer and he knows biology, but the one thing he doesn't know is he doesn't understand soil, obviously, because he was out, cleared a new food plot, a big food plot. I'm guessing it was over 10,000 square feet, and he had a bag of lime. And I'm like, dude, do you know how much? So here's what I want you to understand. If you're in the southeast and you have a clay type soil, roughly you will need 100 pounds of lime to raise 1 point on 1,000 square feet. Say that again. So if you just take 1,000 square feet, a 10 by 100 area, you got to put 100 pounds of lime on that to raise it maybe 1 point, and it's going to take months for that to work down in the soil and work. So if you have 10,000 square feet, you need to get 1,000 pounds of lime to maybe move that soil 1 point. So don't think you can go buy a bag or 2 of lime and throw it on a big food plot and it's going to make a difference. It's not. You're wasting your time, energy, and money. Just plant. Plant a multiple variety of species, biodiversity, and you'll find out pretty quickly that biodiversity will help with the soil pH faster than putting down lime will. I'm real excited to come up here. I'll walk through this whole explanation later, how we do this specialized, what we're testing in here. But this is a standing corn crop, and there's thousands and thousands of ears of corn out here that the deer are eating. But we also planted a second generation. Then I came out and I had some extra seed, and so we just threw down right in here at the base of these standing corn stalks. We just threw out seed on the ground because we knew we had all this misting wet weather coming up. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to try and find some of it and show you what happens. There's so much deer poo and deer tracks in here. See, this is, look at this. Look at this. This is what they're doing. They come in here and they eat all this corn, but this is not just for food, this is for cover. Isn't that cool? Man, they just gnaw that down, man. All right, so one of the reasons why I say use tiny seeds is you don't have to work them into the soil. Just ground contact with moist soil, and that's why you time your plantings. But I'm going to show you, we threw down corn seeds. And let me grab one right here. And I want you to look at this. Can you see that? That was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, we threw down that corn. This is a hybrid 85 field corn. And as I'm going along, they're all starting to germinate because I planned it right. I knew we had rain coming in. I knew we'd have this misting, overcast weather, and it's the perfect time to plant seed. Now, we also have, where is it? We also have irrigation heads. We run pond water 800 feet up into our fields. So we're lucky that we have the benefit of this irrigation. All right, so we've been planting for several weeks now, and we can do that because we have irrigation up here. But here's the concept that we went with this year. Heavy corn row, green space. Heavy corn row, green space. So this whole field is like that. That field up there will eventually have a ton of green like this. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This is crazy. So this is all clover. You've got chicory, and then you got all kinds of turnip and brassica in here. Man, let me tell you what, they are just loaded in here. Every night I have Not only do I have game cameras, my watch is going off because my artificial intelligence security camera is tracking me, and it's going to tell me, is it a vehicle, animal, or person? So I get alerts all night, and I have deer coming through here. These are the feeders we no longer use. See that big pile over there? I got so pissed off I trashed them. Way too many water leaks. So we are no longer using these feeders, even though they're cheap. They're only like $100 each. I'll show you the ones that we're going to, but I got so tired of having to dump out 50, 60 pounds of corn because it was all rotten inside from the water leaks. And trust me, we assembled them perfectly correctly. We even added silicone to it. Let's go up to the top field. I'm out here in the rain for you guys, you know. All right, so this field did have corn, and I cut it with my tow behind, my DR Pro 44T tow behind cutter. And then I ran my subsoiler with my tractor. And then I'm going to show you, this field looks crazy. But let me show you real quick the cameras that I'll actually probably talk about these more, but this is the one I recommend. This is that Reveal 3. It's not the Pro. There's no reason to get the Pro, in my opinion, at this point. You can get these the cheapest, and you can get more of them. Cellular plan is about $100 a year, unlimited. But the great thing about, there's a couple great things. Their app is great, quality is great. You can request an on-demand photo. So 7 a.m. legal shooting right is 7:10. You see something, request an on-demand photo. It'll actually take a picture and send it to you and tell you what's down there. Eventually, if I were to strap my Nikon D810, which is like $1,000 camera, $1,500 camera, if I were to strap it to a tree and leave it out here for 2 years, eventually the lens quality would go down. It would get the overall quality, the performance. Same thing with game cameras. After about 2 or 3 years, the image degrades, the lens gets scratched, and you want to replace them. Well, the problem with these plans is, like with someone like SpyPoint, which is why I don't use them anymore, is you have to send in your serial number. All you have to do is go to your app, click replace camera. Are you sure you want to replace? Type the word replace and then scan the new barcode, replace it, and it's on the same plan that you're replacing. So you're not wasting 3, 4, 5 months worth of plan because you can just replace these. That is a fantastic, brilliant feature. Next, I'll talk about this. Some of my greatest scouting information comes from this, because this is a 4K solar powered video camera that has just a removable, the old style chip. I can leave this up here. I have a minute delay and I have a 15-second video. I have one here and I love it so much. I put one in the backwoods. You'd be amazed what information you get off this little thing compared to these. Yes, this has video, but then you got to download the video. You can't just see it. But this right here, it's great. Now I am going to get one of their Ultras, by the way. Their new Ultra, you can actually pull up like a security camera and get a live view and see what's going on. These are the feeders that we're now using. This is the new feeder system. This is the solar panel. You can see it's raining out, but it's never wet. I love these things because I don't need a ladder. You can just come up to it and dump it. You don't have to worry about a battery on it. And this solar panel actually plugs. It plugs right into the side versus the other ones where you got to wire it in. Nope, there's a plug right there. Salt mineral blocks. I put out 500 pounds. They're 50 pounds each. You get them at Tractor Supply. And they're waterproof. These are the waterproof cattle ones. Just put them out. The deer like to lick them. The deer like them. I mean, they're getting all kinds of nutrients from all of our fields and all of our planting. I'm not a huge fan of just throwing out piles and piles of corn, but we do it so that we can we set these at a time so that we can pattern the deer out here. I have 8 feed stations out here, and then I have thousands of square feet of all this food. So take a look at this. This was just planted a couple weeks ago. Man, look at that. Isn't that crazy? So I've got clover, I've got turnip, I've got brassica, and I just put out a little bit of chicory out here too. This thing should turn into a massive green field. And this will last all the way until a really hard frost. I've said this before, do not plant grasses this time of year in the south. So stay away from rye, stay away from oats, and stay away from wheats. Yes, the deer love them when they're about this tall, but as soon as they start to get stocky, they're not palatable to the deer and they will take over your food plot. Wait, what you want to do is plant a winter or cereal rye, a winter rye, around the time that you get your first frost. So the time, right about the time, that's usually what, November? Once you get a hard frost in here, late November, and some of this stuff might die off a little bit, come through here and put a light coat of cereal rye down, and now you have young cereal rye that'll carry you through the next 30-45 days. And you'll have roots in the ground, but hold off on those grasses. I'm telling you, made that mistake before. I don't care what people say, they love the oats, it doesn't matter. They're gonna ruin your food plot, and what you want is tonnage here. You want a lot of green. All right, so when it comes to seeding, one of my most relied upon apps is a 10-day forecast, a good 10-day forecast. So I'm going to put up my daily, and I've got 55% chance today, 70% chance tomorrow, then it drops down. I'm in the 80s. I'm in the 80 to 89 range. Dude, you couldn't ask for more perfect conditions for seeding. So if I want to get any seed out, based on the fact that I've got rain moving in tonight and tomorrow, now's the time to get it out. I've got wet ground already. One other tip I'll give you, if I can find it, I left it in there because there was, I carry a bottle of permethrin in a spray bottle. I buy the concentrate, mix it up. Whatever you do, get a bottle of permethrin and take it with you. Spray, for us, I spray my boots, my socks, I even spray my shorts. Chiggers and ticks. When you're in the woods working, make sure you spray yourself. Someone's gonna say, that's a chemical. Dude, you do not want to get Lyme disease, trust me. One of my good friends, a realtor, and her friend showed a rural property, got Lyme disease, and was out of work for 3 months. You do not want to get Lyme disease, dude. I don't care what you think about permethrin. They actually use it on cattle, they use it on dogs, but get some permethrin, mix it up in a spray bottle, a big spray bottle. Not only spray it on yourself, but on your game cameras. You know how you get those spider webs and spiders crawling? Cover the lens up and spray your game camera with the permethrin, and you will keep your spiders up from building webs on it. That's a huge tip right there. I do have to do that on all my security cameras too. So this area in here, like I said, we had to kill off because of this henbit, and now, but I've got a bunch of germination. So I've got a bunch of germination here, but I want to pound some clover down in here. Man, I hope these deer leave this corn alone in here, because if this corn can grow, that'd be fabulous. Okay, so I want to show you, based on rule number 1, what I'm talking about. I have my bulk seeds here. Here is turnip seed. See how fine that is? See how small that is? You do not need to bury that. Just throw it on the ground. Clover seed. See how tiny that is? You do not need to bury it. Just throw it on the ground if you got some organic matter. Chicory. Chicory is the largest of the 3 seeds, and it really helps if you have a bunch of like organic matter. Just throw it in there and it'll hide in that organic matter. The rain will fall and it'll germinate. That's one of my rules, because the majority of people don't have the ability to go out and work seed into the ground. Now, what I'll do is, generally, I will, after I seed, I'll actually get my toe behind cutter, my DR Power Pro 44T, and I'll take my cutter after I seed and I'll cut it down, and that puts that organic matter on top of that seed for germination, and it's not matting it down, it's just a light coat on it. Now, yesterday I did a video on the new spray tank I got from my UTV, and see all this grass in here? I want to kill off this grass, but I don't want to hurt the turnip and clover that's already here. So I sprayed clethodim, and clethodim only kills the grass. It does not kill broadleaf products or broadleaf varieties. So I did a full video on that, but look for these little spots. Like this is just a little triangle here, but the deer, this is like one of the first places they come out into, and I want them to graze here. Same thing, I'll go up in this corner under that big pecan tree. I have a huge area that's just like knee-high grass. I sprayed all that, and what I'm going to do is once that clethodim takes effect, I'm I'm gonna go put out seed there, and then I'm gonna go cut it with my toe behind cutter. It's a little pocket. Don't ignore little pockets on your property. These little pockets that you can find anywhere, don't waste them, use them. I've got all these fields out here, but at the same time, I'm turning all these little pockets, every square inch I have, into a food source. Yes, we use these little hand spreaders. I have 3 of them. And I know a lot of people use that shoulder red bag thing. I hate that thing. But that seed is too small to go in almost any other spreader. And that's all we use. We literally walk all these fields with turnip seed, chicory, and clover, and we use these little spreaders. I'll put a link to them. They have that little extension handle that goes under your wrist. But yeah, you can tell that this one field, because we had to kill off this weed, this ugly weed, now I need to keep pounding down my clover, and every time it rains, I'm going to be putting down clover on this thing. Just a light coat like you just saw. I mean, probably one of those, one full container of that will probably do all these rows in here. It's so fine, it's crazy. Morning. So it's the next day, and I want to show you something beautiful. Look at that sunshine hitting. We have had 2 or 3 days of a little bit of heavy rain, and then yesterday the whole day was a misting rain. The whole day. What a fantastic time to seed. Let me run through some quick tips for you. Tip number 1, don't plan for success, plan for failure. And what does that mean? Don't order 10 pounds of clover seed and go out and put 10 pounds of clover seed out. What I want you to do is I want you to wait for a rain, go put a light coat out. The next week you see more rain, or a few days later, more rain coming in, go put a light round out. You're much better off to do staggered seedings, because something will go wrong. I can tell you right now, when you're doing seeding, planting, and food plots, something's going to go wrong. So if possible, hold back on some of your seed and do multiple rounds. Next, biodiversity. Don't just put out one thing. If you have to put out just one thing, clover's it. Clover's perennial, survives frost. It's good in droughts. Put out white clover. I linked to all this stuff down below. But I'd rather see you do is put out heavy clover and then sprinkle in a little bit of like brassica, turnip, radish, all these little broadleaf stuff. Sprinkle in a little bit of that. Not only is it good for the deer, but it's great for your soil. Man, when you get a bunch of purple top turnips growing inside your soil, we had thousands in our fields. Those turnips will actually rot in the soil and actually feed your soil. Tip number 3, don't waste your time and money on lime unless you get a lime truck. If you have a nice, good-sized food plot, you're going to have to put down hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of lime to really have an impact. It's not worth your time and money. You're going to damage your truck trying to drag it out there. So unless you can pay someone, and I just had to Google it, and I found a local guy that actually puts out lime with his truck, and we did it one time up here. But don't freak out. I mean, if your pH is somewhere close to that 6 range, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Get a soil test and know what you're doing. Next tip is don't worry about fertilizing. I wouldn't fertilize. Clover is nitrogen fixing, which means that it basically will draw nitrogen in and put it into the ground, kind of, sort of, but there's a bacteria on its roots. They're these little white nodules, and those nodules convert nitrogen into a usable form. So that's why we plant clover everywhere. Our garden, we don't put anything down in between the rows but clover. Clover, clover, clover. Another tip is stay away from large seeds. Stay away from stuff like soybeans and peas and that kind of stuff. Not only do you put a lot of work into that, they end up usually getting nipped off when they're young, so they don't actually grow. And it's hard if you don't get really good ground contact and it's not really wet. Sometimes they won't germinate. The birds will eat them. But when you put out something like clover and turnip and brassica, those little tiny seeds, it's hard for the birds to find them, number 1. Number 2, you're putting out thousands, tens of thousands of these seeds, and ground contact is real easy. It will germinate, trust me. It will germinate as long as you're just timing it with the rain. Anyways, guys, what I did is I built a page and I put all the products that we've been testing and stuff. In the future, we're going to do some more testing for you. I got that crossbow. I also ordered, Reveal came out with a new ultra camera, which supposedly allows you to do live views. You can pull it up just like my security cameras and actually have a live view. So I did order one of those and I'll test that model. But I'm telling you, for right now, I'd rather have more cameras than something super, super high end. And that's why I like the basic Reveal 3.0. I put it in there, get the lithium battery, get the solar panel. If you're looking for a feeder, the feeders that we link to, actually the same type model is actually, I have 2 pond feeders here, right here. And that's basically the same model, my 2 fish feeders down here. I've had those here for 3 years and they've been running for 3 years. It's on the solar panel and battery. They're fantastic. If you need a really good rifle scope, I linked to that German Precision Optics crossbow. I actually put a link to a affordable crossbow on that page, one like I've been using for years. It's about 350 feet per second probably, and I'm telling you what, dude, I have 25, 30, 35 yards where most of your shots are. It's fantastic. I don't think there's any reason to be spending $2,000 and $3,000 on a crossbow. I'm just doing it so I can test it. And since I do so much crossbow hunting, I figured I'd get it and just test it for you guys. A lot more coming, so hit the subscribe button. And like I said, if you don't mind, give it a thumbs up and I'll talk to you later. Doug.